sucks. But I had, and like I didn't like 90% of it was August, and I haven't done this in so long.
Good morning, Flucos. Today is Monday, November 2nd. Alongside Dominique, I'm Lexi, and this is In the Know.
The Engineer Club will not meet this week. The next meeting will be after school on Tuesday, November 10th. And starting Tuesday, November 2nd, Culinary Arts will be selling tea.
And tea carts will be available on the first, third, and fourth floors. The cost is $1 and exact change is appreciated.
The FCHS Interact Club is sponsoring a coat drive from November 2nd to November 17th. Donate new or gently used coats in your third block classes. Coats will be sold to the needy by Crossroads Community Church for $1. All money raised will be donated to MACA, the Monticello Area Community Action Agency, to purchase turkeys to feed the needy on Thanksgiving. And the third block class that donates the most coats will win a cupcake and soda party on Tuesday, November 24th.
Students who want to do the PVCC tour and activity day on Friday, November 13th, remember you must get your teachers to sign a field trip permission form. Get your forms in this week to guidance office.
You are invited to join us Flucos and the SGA on November 17th at 6 p.m. for dinner and Fluco stories. Come and share a meal, then hear from members of the Fluco community about the moment that shaped their lives. Bring your parents or guardians if you can. Please let Mrs. Steele know the number from your family that will be attending this event by November 10th. Email bsteele@apps.fluco.org with your response or send a note to Mrs. Steele through the front office. Space is limited.
Now let's swing it over to Fluco Beat.
Good morning, Flucos. I'm Sean here with Maddie, and this is the Fluco Beat. Do you have an inner nerd that is begging to be cultivated? Come join the Fluco Tabletop Gaming Club Tuesdays and Thursdays after school in room 3315 to experience the joy of face-to-face gaming. Come Tuesdays for Magic the Gathering and Thursdays for Dungeons and Dragons. Be there and be square.
Girls basketball tryouts will take place on November 9th. All girls 8th through 12th grade interested in trying out will need to have a valid VHSL physical form on file.
Tryouts for swim and dive will begin on Monday, November 9th from 7 to 8:15 at the Fuma Pool. Please arrive at 6:45 to check in. It is not too late to sign up with Coach Morton, Small, or Brophy. You will need a VHSL physical turned in and approved by Ms. Miles before you can get in the pool. Stop by and see a coach today.
Anyone interested in running indoor track, tryouts will be November 9th. You must have a current VHSL physical to try out no later than this Friday, November 6th. Athletes are to change for tryouts in the fieldhouse locker room by the track. Please dress appropriately for the weather conditions. Rides should pick athletes up at the track by the ticket booth at 6 o'clock p.m. If you have any questions, please stop by Coach Brogan's room, 4214, or Coach Castor's room, 4309.
Cheerleading tryouts will take place Tuesday, November 10th, Thursday, November 12th from 4 to 5:30. We will meet in the cafeteria. You must have a current physical on file.
Now let's bring it back to the news desk.
Thanks, guys. And in honor of Veterans Day, the library will like to include your loved ones in our annual display. Please drop off a picture of the veteran or service member in your life with information on which branch of the military they were in, the dates of services, and any other information you would like to include in the display. If you have digital copies, you can send them to fchslibrary@apps.fluco.org.
Sign-ups for the Fluco Talent Show have started. Did you get your act together like I told you? See Mr. Scruggs for more details and a talent show sign-up form. Cash prizes are $100 for first place, $50 for second place, $25 and $25 for third. This year's show will be limited to the first 20 registered acts, so get your forms in ASAP. And the talent show is going to be held on Friday, November 20th.
Summer residential governor school applications and summer foreign language academies applications are now available. Deadline for the visual and performing arts application to be submitted is November 18th. Foreign language is December 4th, and academic mentorship applications is January 22nd. Links to see these applications can be found on the guidance website. Submit applications to Ms. Stacy Holland in the guidance office.
After today's closing credits, please stay tuned for a 3-minute video on history of the vote. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to vote if you're 18 and over.
I'm Lexi.
And I'm Dominique.
And you are now
in the know.
Hello, I'm Perez Hilton. Did you know that more people in the United States check their Facebook and watch the Super Bowl than exercise their right to vote? We've got some serious issues to deal with. So how come so many of us don't even bother to vote? Is it because we don't care? Or maybe it's because we don't know our history.
So let's go back, way back. Our country's first election came after fighting for our independence, a fight that cost many lives, but it was worth it because instead of being ruled by a king, we were finally able to make our own laws.
But not everybody was allowed to participate. You see, back then, you had to own property, be white, and a man in order to actually vote. Now, things continued that way for about 80 years, until after the Civil War, when slavery was abolished and all men were given the right to vote.
Now hold up a minute. Just because we had the right to vote didn't mean we could use it. See, all these new voters wanted to participate, which threatened the people in power and their ability to stay in power. So they tried to stop us with violence and shady new requirements like literacy tests and poll taxes. We had to fight for nearly 100 years before the Voting Rights Act passed, which finally outlawed these dirty tricks.
And you weren't the only ones that had to fight for your right to vote. Somehow women got left out and had to organize and fight state by state, until we took our fight to Washington and finally got our right to vote all across the country. And even once the laws guaranteed every person the ability to vote, you still had to be 21 in most states. So when our government began drafting people under 21 to go fight in Vietnam, they realized their lives were at stake and they had no say. Young people all across the country rose up in protest and demanded that everyone over 18 should be allowed to vote.
And since then, young people's votes have been crucial in deciding lots of big elections. Like in 2008, when a black candidate had a real chance to become president, young people showed up in record numbers. And every year, we make up a larger share of the voting population, giving young people more power, but only if we participate.
So let me break it down. Together, there is so much we can decide, like whether or not we should go to war, or how we spend our money, and how we power our lives.
We can determine who has the right to marry, and who has the right to choose, what possessions should be outlawed, and whether or not we should legalize.
It's up to you to make your choices and shape our future. If we sit on the sidelines, then others will make it work for them instead of us. So let's make our voices heard.
So what would it take for you to vote?